More on this and everything else VRS very soon.
Okay, hello everybody and welcome back to VRS. Today we are doing our sprint weekend, so you don't only have one race, you have two races today. And first of all, it is going to be Monza, and we will have a short one-shot quali very soon in 5 seconds, as we can see. But I'm not alone here today. My name is Josh6000 and here alongside me is Cav. How are we getting on?
Really good, Josh. Looking forward to this. Something different. We haven't had one of these before. Our first of two this season. And as we see a whole host of drivers coming down the main straight at the exact same time, it'll be very important not to make a mistake during this one attempt you're going to get to put it on pole, basically.
Indeed, yeah. So we see a shake-up of the order a lot. We're going on board with Cockpit Griffey here. He seems to be in the middle. As you can see, Sanko is currently leading it by it's going to be a very small margin. Will be up on the screen now. I believe. No, it doesn't come up. We don't get it. But yeah, Sanko and Kajoko was up there as well. So two of them seem to be quite strong at this track, and it's going to be very important to be able to pin down a lap in one go, and having it to be a fast lap as well. It's going to be even more difficult, as we can see. Person we're going on along with, Griffin, he is currently in P2 with LCK behind him and Sanko in front of him. So very, very close it seems here. Only within a tenth, I'd say. Sanko has been in the lead for a good while, so he does have Caden now right behind him. So let's see who's going to get pole position here, Cav. Again, it's a very quick qualifying session, and it's another quick race after it, because we do have two races, so a lot of excitement here. As we're coming up to the line, and I believe... Oh, Caden just nabbed him at the last second. And I think it is going to be Caden. Oh no, Sanko! Sanko is on pole, only 1400ths ahead of Caden. So pole position for Sanko here in Monza. What do you think of that,
Cav? Quick.
Yeah, a minute 19.
I love it. I love it. The jeopardy and the, I suppose, unforgiving nature of these sessions is very clear to see, and now we have a race that's only half the usual half length that we do, so the lads won't have a massive amount of time to make up for the mistakes either. Looking at a few lads well out of position on that grid.
For sure. So Cav, before we get into the race, why don't you go through the finishing order of qualifying?
Of course, so we have Sanko in P1, we've Caden Conway in P2, and the Alfa Romeo LCK P3, Nokak P4, Maglock's in 5th, we have Cockpit Griffey in 6th, Luki Duki in 7th, K Flemo in 8th, 2 reserves there, we've Rory Drayan new to the grid in 9th, Kajoko 10th, OP Gamer 11th, Notjack 12th, well out of position, Notjack, Bartafor 13th, and then Hawthorne starting at the back in 14th, hopefully starting in this race.
Yes.
Hopefully not more issues with his internet.
He does have a LAN cable now, so hopefully he's not going to be running on Wi-Fi anymore. But
big investments from Aston Martin.
Yeah, and he has recently signed with Aston Martin as well, Cav. So
correct.
Big
exactly
news.
What I was going to say.
Yeah.
So he has a contract for the first half of the season, which unfortunately for him does end today. So he's actually under a little bit of pressure. And he'll be looking to maintain that seed, obviously, for the second half of the season. But yeah, it's interesting to see our first change around. So James Mallon is gone from the grid, and we now have Hawthorne in that second Aston Martin car. So exciting.
Our first official sacking in VRS. So, and I'm sure not the last. We'll get into our
correct
our silly season, what we think later on. But we will not have a formation lap. Apparently, €80 is not enough for a formation lap in this game. So. Maybe they'll up the price so they can add that in. Yeah, formation lap is unfortunately a DLC in this game. But we'll be getting into the race very shortly. Everybody's very well behaved, not readying up too early. Everyone's going to be adjusting their setups, adjusting their tyre pressures, whatever else. And here we go. We have the lights going on. And the lights are blank, the cars are moving. We are a go in Italy for our sprint race. Sanko gets a very good start with Caden right behind me.
So does Gak.
Yes, Gak is right up alongside him through the inside. He goes, Caden spins round, he locks up the rears, I think, and Gak is just ahead into P2. Luke has had a great start up into P4 with Rory Drain in P5 now.
Yeah, and LCK, the biggest loser in turn 1 and 2. He's right at the back. He got caught up in an incident there, and that's really unfortunate for the Red Bull driver. Dylan's head in his hands as we go into now turn 3 and 4.
And Bart 4 very close to his teammate, nearly contact there with K Flemo, and Bart 4 is off the track. And Not Jack has gotten a penalty for corner cutting. So that's an interesting one.
Yeah, might need stewards to look at that one. Not exactly sure what happened, but Not Jack has taken 8th place for now, ahead of his teammate Maglox, and we should also know. Ooh,
okay, that's an interesting one. It's Not
Jack's getting hit heavy here.
He's going through the inside of OP Gamer. Gamer is not going to have an issue with letting him by. He knows he's going to have to serve that drive-through very soon. But that's an interesting one there. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, we're going to carry on with the rest of this race. Rory Drain, the GOAT, of course, is right behind the Ferrari reserve of Lukey Dookie, up in a good position. It seems early on in this sprint. Rory Drain very close to the back from him. He seems to have a lot of overspeed on Luke down this main straight. And Luke is trying to get back at him here. Is he going to go through the inside? On board with Luke. He breaks it. He breaks early. He's going to get out of that position as Not Jack has retired and given up.
Yeah. He's put this one to bed. I hope he'll hang around for the second race in Belgium, or Farrell will be very upset with him. But we have, as of now, a front three of Sanko, Gak and Caden. And of course, we should note the tyres the lads are on. So Gak on the mediums, they're going to come towards him the longer this session goes on. The other top three in Sanko, Caden and Rory are obviously on the softs. And then we have a long list of mediums just behind that. So it's going to be interesting to monitor that crossover point. Probably coming around, you would think, lap maybe 6-ish. And of course, all drivers will be making that stop then onto the alternative compound. So yeah, very exciting so far.
Yeah, interesting. I forgot they have to make a pit stop. This isn't under actual sprint race regulations, so pit stop is needed. You can't go to the end. So it'll be interesting to see who takes the advantage of the softs early. It looks like Rory Drain getting that position done on Luke early has helped him out with those tyres, but there's a big gap ahead of him of Caden, who seems to be losing out a little bit to Gak.
Yeah, at the moment just falling back, and we know the DRS around here is obviously incredibly powerful. Huge advantage to be gained by having that rear wing slot open. So we see Flemo out.
Oh, that's a huge crash! I don't know what happened there. There's a gigantic crash in turn 1. People going through the boards, and K Flemo has retired, and that's a safety car.
Flemo's lost his front right wheel, and I think Hawthorne got caught up in that as well. The Aston Martin driver was stricken there on the exit of 1, and whatever's happened between the two of them, bringing out a safety car and leading to big damage for K Flemo.
So this is a great advantage now for the lads who have started on the softs. They can go straight into the pits and put on the mediums and have a perfect advantage until the end of the race. The medium runners, not so much. They have a big decision to make, and they have to make it very quickly. Do they pit and risk going onto the softs, or might they put on the hards for 9-8 laps? But I think the softs will make it to the end. Whether the tyre wear is harder on a 25% race, I'm not sure. But
have we lost? Yeah, LCK. Sorry, Josh, but LCK's had a spin on the safety car, and he gets going again. But yeah, Bartafor nearly had him there. Would have been fine to pass him, of course, with him been stricken. But LCK now will hold on to that P9.
So who's going into the pits? It seems everybody is going into the pits. OP Gamer is going to stay out. Kajoko goes into the pits as well. So the only person so far to stay out is OP Gamer on those mediums, and every single other car is gone into the pits.
Yeah, so I see a good few drivers there opting for fresh softs. Of course, we see LCK come in with no front wing. He's got to get that changed. That's going to hold him up. And I think there's going to be damage for Hawthorne in the Aston as well. So he has a little bit of work to get done.
Yeah, Hawthorne has
a lot
of
drivers
as well.
Changing compound, and you would expect the medium runners from here to look to bring this home. So
indeed.
I'm not sure. Obviously the wear is scaled, so strong chance that they may need to come in, but we'll see how they get on.
Yeah, so the only person to go onto the hards is LCK. Doesn't think those mediums or those softs are going to go to the end. Obviously, usually in our 50% races, softs would go. Jeez, I'm not even going to. Not 8, whatever amount of laps we're going to get. 8 racing laps, I think. But in this 25% race, as you say, Cav, scaled to, 25%.
25% distance, yeah. So it's going to be a bit of a game changer.
I'm not sure if they'd make it. I don't think these drivers are sure if they'd make it, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
And LCK gone for the hards there, Josh, so he feels like they may come to him at the end. Again, we'll see as time progresses. As you said, we're probably not going to get underway this lap. It'll be one more before we get back going. So hopefully we see a good clean battle into turn 1. It can be obviously very easy for incidents to stack here. Just takes one person to miss their braking point, and it's a bit of a bowling ball aspect to it.
Indeed. So Cav, why don't you go through how this sprint format works? Because I know we did explain it, but why don't you explain it for the viewers in case? Because I know some people say they thought it was half points, some people didn't really know what was going on. So why don't you explain to the people at home what's going to happen today?
Yeah, so I suppose what we're trying to do is shake things up in the calendar and give ourselves something a little bit different. We don't want 12 rounds to be the exact same. So what we've done with these, and we've advertised this since the start, is a one-shot qualifying as opposed to your usual 18-minute session. You only get literally one lap, and it's, essentially winner takes all on that lap. And of course, not forgetting the fact that there's a extra point for pole position in VRS. But then as we get into the races, they are, as they're advertised, 25% races. So they are essentially quarter distance. Bearing in mind, we usually run 50% distance. So think of it as half of what we usually do. And of course, everything gets scaled to match. But the jeopardy, I suppose, of an incident or, having an issue becomes much more heightened because, of course, there's less time to make up places. In terms of scoring points, we adopt the actual sprint format. We obviously aren't going to get into like half points, etc., because it just becomes, way too messy. So sprint points are awarded from 8th for first, and then obviously all the way down to 8th, which gets you 1 point on top of the usual pole position point that we award in VRS, and of course the fastest lap point as well available. And I see K Flemo there just as I'm talking to the YouTube saying who the fuck was parked on track. I'm assuming he encountered a car sideways on turn 1. I'm gonna guess that could have been the Aston Martin of Hawthorne, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, so 6th car is going to be in this lap. I'm going to get back underway. I didn't see what happened. I just saw a lot of broken parts of cars on the ground. Yeah, we're going to get back underway here with Sanko leading this safety car and Knockgak behind him, and Caden then in P3.
Yeah, so exciting. And a couple of drivers, I would say, so far doing very well compared to maybe, the position they may have expected to be in the grid. Looking at the likes of Rory, Drain and Lukey up in 4th and 5th. Rory on his debut, and Lukey, of course, has been reserving quite regularly with us, but doing very well in P5 there, and now on the softs, so ready to attack.
He is indeed. So we're going to be getting underway right now with Sanko. Here we go, back racing again on lap 6. And did Knockgak get a good restart? He didn't get a good enough restart to be able to overtake Sanko this time round. But we do have Griffin right behind Kajoko here, and that's it! Bar to 4 gone right into the back of Griffin and broken his right end plate. So that is not good for the Haas driver.
Yeah, everyone else through safely so far from what I can see. Maglock's looking at a move here on LCK, both battling into turn 4 here. LCK takes a nice line and brakes nice and late on those hards. The longer this goes on, obviously, the more those hard compound tyres will come to him. And Bartafor struggling without that end plate. LCK could get a move done here.
It's very close. Bartafor, he's lost a good bit of time, and LCK is going to try and go around it. But here's Maglocks as well, going around LCK. He's not giving him enough room to go around the Haas. I think it's going to be 2 for 1 here for Maglocks. Around the outside of both of them he goes. And it's a great overtake, but he's gone off the track in trying to overtake Bartafor, so I can imagine he's going to give that position back to Bartafor.
There's lots of moves going on behind now, which is going to complicate things.
And Hawthorne getting involved as well, trying to go around the outside of the Haas.
God help us. He just gets out of that, and he has now OP Gamer on the back of him on the soft. So OP Gamer now is a run on Hawthorne and Bartafor, and again we're going to see another 2 for 1, I think.
Going 3 wide down this straight. Hawthorne seems to have good straight line speed compared to them. OP Gamer slightly ahead of him. Hawthorne going through the inside, trying to break later than him. He takes a very tight line. There's a bit of contact between the two.
Yeah.
But the Red Bull does come out on top, and that's OP Gamer up into 10th. And Hawthorne
Really good
down to
racing
11th.
from Gamer.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So of course, unlike more often 50% races, we see now only the top 8 scoring points. So even the likes of Maglox and OP Gamer will be looking there at what can they do. Oh, Maglox goes very wide.
He does, and there's contact!
Yeah.
OP Gamer loses left end plate. And Hawthorne now going around the outside. That's a good move. Oh no, it's not. OP Gamer is still going to hold it there, even with a broken end plate. I think Hawthorne actually has a broken end plate as well.
Gak has just been gotten there by Caden, so Caden doing the move down the second DRS straight, and very straightforward for Caden at the moment.
Yeah.
Gak struggling on those soft compound tyres after only 3 laps on them, and one of them been on the safety car.
And yeah, Hawthorne is missing a right end plate, and OP Gamer missing his left one, so big contact in the back between those lads. And interestingly, 2 Ferraris.
Yeah,
Luke just ahead of Kajoko, so they're looking very well. And looking to be even enough on pace, although Kajoko is getting quite close to him on this main straight. Luke seems to be losing out a lot in terms of straight line speed, as Hawthorne does go into the pits, and I'd imagine he'd change his front wing. As that's a big spin. I think that's Caden gone.
Caden's
lost it in the first couple
Caden's had
corners.
an issue, and Caden's gone from the podium to P7 in a matter of 1 corner.
Yeah.
That allows a whole host of drivers through.
Oh, that's
Luke
Kajoko,
I
yeah.
wonder, is he letting Kajoko go, or is Kajoko having a
Oh,
Luke
Luke
gets way too late on the
doing
brakes.
what he did in Singapore. He really needs to be careful. And that's very poor timing from Luke, and that's him missing out on a position there.
Yeah, so Caden gets 1 back. Luke will be on the back of him though. And what's significant here now is the DRS chains that have been broken. Gak has lost DRS to Sanko, and of course Caden doesn't have it for Griffey, so that's going to be a big game changer in terms of trying to hang on to the pack and the pace that you need to hold on to your points around here.
That's right. So Rory Drain, yeah, looking quite quick compared to Knockgak here. Those tyres seem to be dying off on him. And Rory Drain has great straight line speed here. He is burning a little bit compared to Knockgak. Knockgak is 70% and Rory Drain only has 30, so the advantage seems to be in Knockgak's hands at the moment.
Does, but we should bear in mind as well, the longer this race goes on, the more those tyres are going to come to Rory. And now Rory with, DRS wide open.
Yeah,
this is going to be candy from a baby, even with Gak's battery. And Kajoko now having a look at this one with interest.
Gak is still trying to hold it around the outside, but he is going to let him go eventually. And he does have Kajoko now, of course, right behind him.
Yeah, so LCK and Maglox swap positions. Doesn't make a huge difference to Maglox. His 3 seconds, he's within 3 seconds still, of course, of LCK, so he will get that position back at the finish line as it stands, but long way to go still. Oh, and Hawthorne's had a big spin, and he's out.
That's gone.
Just as I went on board.
Yeah.
And that's a safety car.
That's another safety car, so that is really going to shake things up. I don't think it's going to wait for people to catch up if they do intend on pitting for a new set of tyres. I don't think anybody will. We're only going to get a couple racing laps, I can imagine, 2 or 3 maybe. But that is Sanko again, not happy with that. He had a big gap to the car behind him. And now that is all lost, with Rory Drain looking very, very racy.
Yeah, Rory has great pace, and again, let's see what everyone does here. I mean, yes, there's only possibly 2 racing laps left, maybe 3, but with a short number of drivers on the grid, will anyone decide to take the risk? You definitely would think the back 2 or 3 drivers will go in for sure.
Yeah.
So Sanko says no. Rory Drain also says
Gak goes in.
Gak goes in. Okay.
That is a very weird decision by Gak, and I don't think he's going to get those positions back, Cav.
We'll see. Caden stays out. Dookie stays out. Maglock stays out. So everyone from Gak back, all now coming in for a set of what should be soft boots from here.
Yeah. So
they will catch the pack. The pack is going to be quite slow here, so they will be on the back of the front 7, but as you said, not enough laps left.
Yeah.
And not a lot of time to get those moves done.
I think more people
has
hit than I thought, but
yeah, so Hawthorne is throwing a spanner in the works here. And his Aston Martin teammate Sanko won't be thanking him for that one. Sanko had checked out and was looking comfortably in control of this race. Now he has, as you said, a very pacey looking Rory Drain right on the back of him.
He does indeed. Of course, you can't forget Kajoko then on the softs. Now those softs will be quite dead compared to the mediums at the moment, but we only have a couple of laps and it's a very short track, so quite hard to get out of the DRS range. But we will only have, I don't think we'll even have DRS here, Kev, depending on when the safety car goes in.
Yeah, I wonder will we get a quick withdrawal of the safety car this time around due to how many laps are left. We'll see as Bartafor here puts the hammer down. Needs to try catch up to LCK, of course.
I think it's going to stay for another lap
himself
here.
He's trying to catch Gak. We'll find out here at the split line, but yeah, I think you're right. We might be going around again. If that's the case, we will get 2 racing laps.
Yeah. Right, so we will not have DRS for the end of this race. It is just going to be based on pure pace coming out of that final corner. And who has the lowest wings on their setup here tonight?
Yeah, so I suppose looking at Gak now, Gak on the back of this pack with fresh softs compared to the cars in front of him. He has 4 medium runners who will still have a bit of wear in those tyres, but those soft runners, I'd say those 7-lap-old softs, I know they haven't done 7 racing laps, but they'll still be quite worn. He could get some moves done, and I tell you what's going to really hurt now is the penalties that Kajoko, LCK and OP Gamer have gotten. They will be problematic to say the least come the finish line.
Definitely.
But of course we've stewards reviews and all that sort of stuff still potentially to come. As Gary says, death, taxes and the day of DNF, absolutely, they are the certainties of life, and becoming certainty in VRS as well. Sanko now leads the pack behind the safety car. Looking very impressive so far, Sanko, you'd have to say, Josh.
Yeah, he's definitely shown his worth, and he's going to be, as Lucky Nutshot has said, very expressively, he said he's his #1 driver. So, star driver Sanko is definitely shown why he is so, in Lucky Nutshot's eyes, leading this sprint race. But let's see what he can do now in terms of having a good race here with Rory Drain, obviously looking quite quick here behind him. Let's see how quick he is compared to the race leader.
Yeah, for sure.
So safety car is going to be in this lap. We'll get 2 laps of racing for this Italian sprint race, and let's see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, so how will Sanko do this? Personally, I would go off the entry to Parabolica, but everyone's obviously different. If you're slow in a straight line, you might want to leave yourself as little a run down to turn 1 as possible. But let's see what Sanko decides to do. He'll be glad to have at least a good few runners behind him who are all on similarly worn tyres, despite different compounds. So, yeah, he has the best of the front 7 realistically anyways. Maglock's 1 lap fresher.
So
let's see
here we go.
now.
Sanko, he's going quite late here. Onto the power, and away we go once again in Italy. It's a good restart, very good restart from Kachoko. He's right, he's going to be past Rory Drain even before the corner. What a restart by Kajoko.
Got a great restart there, and Rory has lost 1. Rory tries to come back. That is a dive
through the inside, pushed off the track a little bit. Is Kajoko, a little bit of contact, but Kajoko's coming back at him. Great racing by Kajoko.
And Griffey getting out of shape there.
Oh, Luke's been spun, I think.
On the exit.
Yeah, Luke, there's a lot of people in the back. Maglock's, LCK, OP Gamer and Luke all involved in an incident there.
Yeah, huge incident, and that'll be looked at, I'm sure, by the stewards later. But as we see now, Griffey chasing through Rory Drain. Rory goes over the sausage curbs and loses 2 spots.
Yeah.
Those sausage curbs are lethal, to say the least. And Caden now is on the back of Griffey, fighting for that last podium place. And of course, Kajoko has been able now to check out a little bit with that 3-second time penalty he has. So right now, he's only going to lose, I think, 2 or 3 positions.
Yeah, and well,
he continues to extend.
Caden is going to be fighting with Griffin, so we can imagine. Oh, tiny bit of contact, I think, there. Through a scary we go.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kajoko, 2.3 seconds now to cockpit Griffin and keeping that 2nd place. Here we go. Caden, through the inside he goes on Griffey. And it's easy pickings for him, but we do have this main straight for Griffin to be able to burn all of his battery and try and get that position back on Caden.
Yeah.
I think he's going to make it happen here. He has good straight line speed, it seems. And here we go around the
Joko
outside.
having a look at Sanko here, Josh. Ooh,
Already?
Decides the better of it. Yep.
Jesus.
Into turn 1.
And through the inside, and that's Luke retired in the pits. And Griffin has backed out.
He actually retired on Parabolica, but either way, it doesn't affect the race. Just as we see him there getting removed from the track, we do hope he's okay. But Cockpit Griffey on the back of Caden now. And the pack is broken up into little mini segments at the moment. And both cars that aren't going to score points that finish this race at the moment look like being from the Red Bull family.
Yeah, indeed. Now Knockgak very close on his fresh tyres to the back of Rory Drain. He only has another couple chances to make a move happen. After pit. Oh, that's a car off! That's Griffin out! And that's a huge crash.
He lost it through Lesmo too. They'll have to be careful going past him here. Someone might get caught out and collect them. I hope not.
Knockgak going through the inside of Rory Drain here. Rory Drain is holding it. Great fighting there by Rory Drain, but he is going to have this next straight. And this is the last chance he will have to get a move done on the GOAT. He'll get it here on this straight. But here's Barta 4. Rando's saving grace, Willie B. So this race, and it's going through the inside for Barta 4. They're going to be neck and neck, going to the line. Who has the better straight line speed in this short little stretch to the line? And it is going to be Barta 4 who takes 5th. But it is Sanko who wins the sprint race in Italy, with Caden just behind him, and Kajoko manages to keep that podium position after a penalty.
Yeah, very impressive over the last 2 laps from Kajoko. Got away clean and made it count. And that was a very good finish to a very hectic race. Couple of safety cars in 13 laps. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah. Well, if you have Dave in a race, anything can happen.
True, indeed.
We'll be getting underway again. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting underway again. Can you believe it? I can't. But we'll be getting another short one-shot quali in Belgium, and in a very short 25% race. Of course, it will only be, I think it will only be 8 laps. Of course, being the longest lap around Belgium on the calendar. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one for sure. But Kev, why don't you take us down the finishing order of this race?
For sure. So we have in P1, we have Sanko in the Aston Martin, Caden in P2 in the Alfa Romeo, and then Kajoko, after that late time penalty, still manages to bring it home P3. We've Gak recovering from stopping late on. I'm not sure if he damaged or the reason he stopped. Maybe he just wanted fresh boots, but he comes home P4. Barta 4 5th for Barry's Haas. Rando will be thrilled. We have Rory Drain in 6th on his debut in VRS. And of course, Maglock 7th, followed by LCK in the Red Bull in 8th. Beyond that, OP Gamer did finish. We had Cockpit Griffey, who we lost on the last lap. Lukey, we lost 2 laps from the end on Parabolica. And then continuing on, we had Hawthorne, Flemo, and Notchak all retire relatively early, with the exception of Hawthorne, who gave us that late bit of excitement.
Yeah, indeed. So, we'll be back very shortly for, of course, the second race out of 2 in this sprint weekend. And again, of course, you can see 25 points, 18 points, 15 for the top 3. It's going to be 8 points for first, down to 1 point for 8th. So, not as many points as you'd usually get, but we're going to go again. So there's another haul of points for the lads to get here, and more excitement for us. So we will be back very shortly, and we'll be in Belgium, of course.
What are we saying to the cameras? It's unbelievable. The 2 guys putting the wheel on, they were new. 4th and 5th, but Gene, you finished 4th and 5th here. You fucking look like rock stars.
Here are the lights. And the lights are blank. The cars are moving. We are go in Monaco.
Lift me up, higher now.
Oh, I can't be spun around.
Brilliant move. That's the best move we've seen all season. And we have rain, Josh.
Griffin here, go through the inside, also in the Red Bull of Kate Flemo. Becomes a champion of the world.
Oh my God!
It's time! And here we go. Change things forever.
sister.
This town deserves a better class of criminal. And I'm gonna give it to him.
It's time to burn.
Luke's gone.
Speed on myself. 2 seconds.
Quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast. You jumped up and...
So step it out. So step it out. So step it out. Wear that wedding band. So step it out. Find daughter, show your legs to pick up the river. In the village of Kilgore, there's a maiden young and fair. Her eyes shine like diamonds, she has long and golden hair. A horseman he comes riding up to the farthest gates. On a pure white stallion, and he comes at the strike of 8. So step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Step it out, Mary, if you can. Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Show your legs to the rim. Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter. Step it out, Mary, if you can. Get down, bad. 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 Get down, bad.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now, after a very hectic race, we are here
Yes.
for another hectic race in Belgium. 11 laps around Belgium, but first of all, we will get into our one-shot qualifying, which was very interesting last time round, Cav, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was exciting, and obviously Monza is one of those shorter tracks with less corners, so the margins become finer. Now we're on Belgium, which is one of our longer tracks, and of course, you know, a 1 minute 40 odds lap time. Lots of chances for invalidation, so it's going to be exciting, I think, and certainly you may see even more shocks, I think, around here.
Yeah, indeed. So we're going to be getting underway very shortly, I think, and let's see what's going to happen. We did see a few drivers a lot lower down in the order than we usually would see them. Of course, no room for error, as you've said, on a one-shot qualifying like this, and that's the beauty of it. Yeah, very exciting stuff, and we have another 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, and again, this is one of the tracks where setup can be a little bit tricky. You can obviously go all in for straight line speed and get yourself well set up for the Kemmel Straight, but of course then you have to deal with the technical side of the end of sector 2 in particular. It becomes very twisty, so it's going to be exciting to see what way the different drivers go. And here we go.
Here we go for one-shot qualifying. And through turn 1 we go. Of course, we're with Cockpit Griffin again. I think we'll go on to someone else. We're with... Who are we going to? We're Caden. We'll go with Caden here. So we're going to see very early on who has high downforce and who has low downforce setup. So it seems not Jack, Kijoko, Mags have very, very low wings going down this straight, and Caden quite the opposite, which is who we're going on board with. And we'll see Caden jump up the order here. where his setup is going to work the best, as he's jumped up a lot of positions up in the P5 currently. With the two AlphaTauris were 1 and 2, and Sanko back up into P1 where he was last time round, swapping positions a lot with Not Jack, and Caden now
very tight.
is in P6. And I'm guessing we're gonna very onto the curbs there around Puon once again. Jeez, I wouldn't see anybody going around them. As we have OP Gamer out of the session, he has crashed, and Caden is making these high wings work for him very, very well through the technical part of this track, and now onto another long straight, so we may see Caden drop down from his P2 spot that he's in, and Sanko may jump back up there. Not Jack may stay there in P1 as we're going down another very long straight.
Yeah, I've been on board with Not Jack for most of this lap, and very tidy so far, very few mistakes. Of course, Jack has had the last 25 minutes off, so he should be fresh and ready to attack Belgium, and so far driving well. But through the bus stop the order changes a little bit, but Jack once again looks like he's gotten the better of this. Let's see.
Very close to Caden, but Jack takes pole position here in Belgium, and Caden very close behind him in P2, with I think Sanko was in P3, I believe.
Yeah, and a raft of DSQs at the end there, so a couple of drivers have had problems and dropped out of their normal order.
Yeah, so why don't you bring us down to starting order, Cav?
Yeah, so after finishing essentially last in Monza, we now have Not Jack on pole for the Belgian Grand Prix, and a point goes to him and AlphaTauri. Caden in P2, we've Sanko 3rd, Maglox in P4, Notgak in P5, LCK in 6th, we've Barta4 for Haas in 7th, and OP Gamer in 8th. Cockpit Griffey 9th, Rory Drain 10th, 11th for K Flemo, Hawthorne in 12th, Lukey Dookie in 13th, and then at the very back, Kajoko in 14th.
Joko early on
for Ferrari to do.
well. Yeah, once again, very close together, but not in the position they would like.
Yeah, that's for sure. So again, we wait to see what strategy drivers will go for. Most likely, you'll see a split, and of course, safety car timing could be of benefit here. We'll see. There was 2 in the first 25% race, so let's see what the drivers all decide upon.
So, once again, we will not have a formation lap. I have not bought the DLC yet. Don't think you have, Cav, either, have you?
No interest.
No.
We don't need a formation.
Yeah. But what do you think for this race, Cav, before we get into it? What's your predictions?
I think if he can get away clean, I think Not Jack looks good. He drove that qualifying lap incredibly well, looked to have everything very well locked down, and he tends to be very consistent. So I think if Jack can get away clean through turn 1, I think it'll be in his favour. I'm going to go for the rest of the podium to be met up with Sanko once again, who's on a scintillating run of form, and then I'm going to go for Gak. Gak is very wily. I think he will work his way up to P3.
Yeah, I think I agree with Jack here. I think Jack will take P1. I don't think Sanko will be able to take him with a straight line speed. I think I see Gak in P2 and Sanko in P3. But here we go. We have the lights. And the lights are blank. The cars are moving. We are go in Belgium. It's a very terrible start from Maglox. He's got himself a drive-through already for breaking the start. And Not Jack just about manages to keep his lead ahead of Caden. Going down into Eau Rouge, and side by side they go with Sanko and Maglox. And of course, Mags, with that drive through, he's going to want to be careful. He needs to serve that early. And very close to the top 3. Moving around a lot. 3 wide they go down the Camel Straight, as Sanko just doesn't have the straight line speed, it seems, compared to the rest. Not Jack is going to be able to keep that lead with Sanko going through the inside of Caden, but Caden is going to just about keep it ahead of Sanko.
Yeah, and behind all that we have Haas, that's K Flemo, just recovering back onto the track, but he is still in this race, as we see. Is that Hawthorne going wide? It is. And, nearly takes Lukey with him, but so far we still have all 14 drivers, which is more than we had last time around.
It is indeed, and that was a great move for Notgak through the tight right-hander. And, yeah, we have LCK now still just staying with him, very close to the back of Notgak, who just overtook him. He's a tiny bit of contact between the Mercedes and the Red Bull, but nothing too severe.
Yeah, Barta4 on the back of OP Gamer here, looking very pacey on those softs. They will die quite quickly around here. Of course, it's a long lap around Belgium, as we know, so Barta4 needs to get this move done as soon as possible.
Yeah, he does indeed.
And not Jack.
These are changes for
swapping
the lead
positions
here, yeah.
Yeah.
Caden.
Caden up the inside. He's going to
jumping
go for
through
it on
the
those
inside.
softs.
Yeah, making those softs work early on. Not Jack is trying to hold it through the inside and push them straight off the track. But here goes Sanko around the outside of both of them here. Into turn one they go
Three
three
wide.
wide. And this is going to end in tears if they don't be careful. Not Jack in the centre of it. You don't want to be in the middle of 3 cars going wide, especially in that turn. But Caden seems to come off best with Not Jack and P2 with Sanko. Are they going to go side by side through Adion and Eau Rouge? No. Sanko's still very close to the back from Holden. Holding them up is Not Jack, trying to get past them. Sanko can't use his straight line speed, but Not Jack straight ahead of him into P1 goes Not Jack with side by side. They go. Sanko's being spun round.
Yeah, he contact with Caden. I think it was his front hit Caden's rear right. I'm not sure who was at fault, but it looked very tight. Hard to take 2 cars into that corner on the same line.
It is indeed.
Almost impossible.
But here comes LCK now on the back of Caden. Both of them on the softs. So with Not Jack on the mediums ahead, Not Jack will have that advantage later on in the race. But if he can keep that P1 for now, he'll be looking very well.
Yeah, Maglox has had a spin just at the back there, so further trouble for him after having obviously that drive through early on. His day currently goes from bad to worse, but you never know. Could be a safety car that brings him back into contention. He's just got to keep at it for now. As we see Caden on the back of Jack once again.
That's not Jack, just
very quick
past LCK for P3. So, and LCK coming back at him here down this back straight.
Oh,
very close.
LCK has to get out of that.
Yeah, no move available for him.
Well to avoid contact. And he now has Bartafor right in his back. So the entire front 7 are in a DRS train at the moment, which will be activated this lap. So some moves are going to happen here.
They are indeed.
Rory Drain even is within distance at the moment. The GOAT himself.
Caden now right on the back of Not Jack, and of course he will have DRS going down the Kemmel Straight. And he seems to have the rocks compared to Not Jack going through Radion and Eau Rouge. And is he going to have the straight line speed paired up with that? And I think he is. With that DRS assistance, he is going side by side with him, and through he goes.
Goes a little deep, Caden. Jack will get him back here in terms of distance, but Caden now has to try shake him before the DRS next time around. That'll be the objective.
Yeah, and Rory Drain has just gone past Bartafor for 6th place, so that is the Hasses in 7th and 8th. Oh, that's a spinner. I think that's Cockpit Griffin. Griffin has been spun round, I think.
Yeah, so finding trouble for the 2nd race in a row. I think in Monza it was his own doing, from what I've seen. I am Sector 2, but here in Sector 2 in Belgium, a little bit earlier on, but finding similar trouble. Maglox now has gone onto the hard compound tyres, so has decided to box early. He's going to take those to the end for sure. And we see again now the top 6 all within DRS. Bartafor trying desperately to hang on to DRS here. And we've the 2 Hasses fighting. Flemo up the inside of Bartafor here. This could be tears, but Bartafor I think decides, yep, let's keep this clean and work together. For now at least.
Bartafor is going to stay behind him. Of course, 2 teammates, they're going to want to, 2 reserves in that. They're going to want to make their team principal as happy as they possibly can by coming home with points, and obviously, and also coming home in one piece. So yeah, K Flemo just losing out a little bit, a good bit, to Rory Drain ahead.
Yeah, of course, and we know that this is the last audition before silly season, so everyone here driving for their seat going forward. Driver lineups could be completely different.
Here we go, the top 3, Cav.
Loads of switches, loads of switches.
Not Jack gets past Caden. Not Jack
nestles in behind Jack. Yeah, those softs now really starting to go off, I think, for the ones who started on that compound. And you can see the medium runners just coming to life. OP Gamer now in P5, closing in that little bit more on his teammate. And will the 2 Red Bull drivers work together? We'll see. Flemo and Bartafor swap positions again, and Hawthorne gets Lukey Dookie, so it's all go. At the moment, Flemo hanging on to that final points position.
Yeah. Oh, Kajoko went past the boat with him there. You can see that. So Bartafor now out of the points. And these top
So
three
far.
are very, very close together here.
Hmm.
So they've been staying within touching distance of each other. Of course, LCK OP Gamer are there or thereabouts as well. So they're going to be getting involved very soon, possibly this lap. Or next lap, I should say.
Yeah. So the top 6 remain in that train. Kajoko slowly closing in. He'll want to get himself a bit of DRS to add to the fray. Of course, he's trying to get away from Flemo, but at the moment he's just pulling him along. Flemo using that DRS to stay in touch with the medium runner. And now we see Jack with a little bit of oversteer through turn 1. Gak right behind. Will Gak get a move done down the Camel Straight? He's going to have DRS to help him, and of course he has a lot of battery, but not as much as Jack, mind you. Both been very reserved in their battery born. Who's not been reserved is Caden, right down to 25% now, and continuing to burn at the moment. Will he have a look here? No, he doesn't. He stays out of it, stays clean, and that allows LCK now to form up in a queue right behind us. Hawthorne gets Bart to 4 down the Camel Straight. Lots of exchanges of position going on.
Yeah, there is indeed. Knockgak has obviously taken the lead, and Caden now is struggling a little bit on those tyres, it seems, with LCK right behind him and OP Gamer right behind a lot of them on those medium tyres. So, be interesting to see when those soft runners are going to pit, and that's a yellow
and that's
flag.
Cockpit Griffey, yeah,
Oh,
in the Williams.
Griffith.
He's had an issue. He just needs to be careful re-entering. He has Sanko coming behind them. Of course, Sanko has stopped for the mediums, so has his tyres now to bring him to the end of the race.
Yeah. So we may see some of the soft runners maybe coming in for their scheduled stop, going for an undercut on the cars ahead of them. So let's see what's going to happen. Caden still right behind Notjack, so those tyres aren't completely gone off for Caden.
No, he's hanging on to the 2 in front of him with DRS, and it's a good strategy at the moment. And will he now go in? He does, so here comes the undercut. He's going to try it. As LCK follows him in. Ooh, big snap of oversteer for Caden going to the pits, and LCK
a lot
takes
of people gone in. Kajoko's gone in very early.
Time board out. Yeah, Kajoko, what's he going to go for here? Is he going to try medium hard? I doubt it. I'd say he's going to take those softs.
Yeah.
It's over half a race distance. He's going to have to go on them, though. Yeah, soft it is, but they do last well. They don't go off the cliff as much here as around other circuits.
Here we go now, Not Jack right behind Not Gak. And is he going to get this overtake done before the corner? He is. Into the lead goes Not Jack. Ahead of Gak, and good racing between these two here. Minimal contact, and they're really playing it smart, the two of them.
Yeah, and the field now is spread out, and what's going to be key is for the guys coming out now on the fresh compounds to get those lap times nailed in as quickly as possible. We expect the medium runners either this lap or the lap after, and they're going to have to make use of their fresh compounds now to make their moves as early as possible. If they spend time battling, they're going to lose out to Jack and Gak, without a doubt.
Yeah, indeed. So let's see how strong the undercut is here for Caden especially. He has LCK just about out of the 1 second range. So Caden looking very, very quick on those new mediums. So Not Jack, I would imagine, may go in along with Not Jack this lap to cover off the undercut from Caden. LCK, Rude, from everybody behind them. Essentially, they have stayed out a lot longer than the majority. So let's see what's going to happen here. Not Jack, he may peel into the pits to the right hand side, and he's going to stay out, Kev, and Not Gak goes in.
Yep, so deciding to go for a shorter stint in those softs. Not completely unreasonable. We have to remember the tyre wear have been scaled here, so it does work slightly differently, but yeah, OP Gamer, Hawthorne and Gak all in. Hawthorne getting himself a 5. Oh my goodness, not on your last audition, son, that's a shame.
So this is going to be so important here for Not Gak, and Caden's already ahead of him here. So,
yeah, so that one undercut.
That's a big undercut. LCK is also ahead of Not Gak, but he does have those softer compound tyres. So
yeah,
let's see if he can use that advantage to his advantage, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've gone from having only one DRS train last lap around to basically a multiple set of DRS trains. We have Joko here chasing Gamer. We've Rory Drain and Gak chasing LCK. There's a lot of battles here now starting to form.
Yeah,
I'm very glad to say we've had a very clean race so far. I hope I haven't jinxed that, but as you're yawning, Josh, I am thrilled to say there is something nice about having a flowing race rather than something that's stop and start. And Gak already now within DRS of LCK, so that's huge. And what is also huge, that 5 seconds for Hawthorne with no safety car, that's going to drop him right down the order. Already not scoring points in 9th, but no chance now unless he can make serious moves.
So the gap between... Oh, that's a spinner there. That's Mags.
I think it's Maglux.
Down at the back.
Yeah, having a torrid time around here.
So the gap between Caden and not Jack... It seems Jack is going to lose maybe points here, Cav. This is a tiny gap between them.
He's going to have a lot of work to do over the last 4 laps, that's for sure.
So let's see if Kajoko can even get out ahead of him here. I don't know what a pit stop is. I don't know what the exact time is, but we're going to find out who's going to get ahead of Caden or not Jack here.
I think it's about 22 around here, I think. It's not the worst in terms of time loss, but what we have to remember is a couple of drivers are going to be dead towards the end. Those soft runners, like Kajoko with 2 laps on those softs, he is going to find the last stint of the race quite difficult.
So he's out
as
behind.
Jack comes out in 5th here.
Yeah, behind Rory Drain, so it's not as bad as I would have thought. Can he get this move done, Rory Drain, nice and early? He will have DRS, I believe.
And Gak's gone past LCK, Josh. He's got the DRS wide open and he's got the straight line speed to match. LCK tries to fight it, but there's no point in that. And Gak on those soft compound tyres, all of a sudden looking good for potentially a W here.
Definitely. 1.2 seconds just over to make up for not Gak to take this victory. And that's Mags gone in the pits.
Yeah, in the pits. So exciting. Sorry to say.
So, Gak has already caught up a second here. So, and with the straight line speed of Caden, this may be easy pickings for Gak.
Cockpit Griffey bangs in another fastest lap. And in Sector 1 we have yellows. Is that... That's just, I think, Maglux's car looking to retire.
Oh, and Flemo trying to go past Kajoko here, and he's got it done. So, Kajoko down to 8th position. And 1 point for himself, although not too bad. And we do have not Jack.
There goes Maglux's car, which is great.
Ooh, Rory Drain gets onto the grass a little bit. He's lucky to have not gone into the side of not Jack there.
Jack's going to have a go at LCK into the bus stop here. He's going to go the long way around. Takes a good line. He's going to have the inside line here plus DRS. This is going to be good for Jack.
Yeah.
And now he needs to chase down Gak, and that's going to be the only problem for him. He won't have DRS down the Kemmel Straight, and he could see himself get caught back up with these 2 medium runners behind him, or worse. But Gak now is going to have DRS on Caden, and surely that one's only a matter of time. Caden has 2% battery left. His straight line speed is going to be awful here, and actually Gak could get him done here from 8 tenths behind. He may have the overspeed.
Very, very quick. He's not used any of his battery, which is smart. He'll get quick, but he'll get close. I don't think he'll go for it. No, he's going to stay behind. Not enough room for him to go around the outside of Caden there. And Caden is going to gain another pretty big gap through the technical part of this track.
Yeah, I don't think Gak knew that Caden was out of VRS. If he did and expected the overspeed, he might have used that battery to attack, but he'll still have time. His only other problem, though, is going to be Jack now getting closer and within DRS, so Gak may have missed his opportunity there. If he'd burned, I think he would have had him done. LCK gets 3, and that's massive.
Yeah.
That's going to drop him a long way back.
Oh, that's someone out. That's Hawthorne. That's on track.
Not again, Dave.
Oh, no. And that maybe his days gone in Aston Martin, and we do have Griffin retiring in the pits.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to get away without a safety car here, which is good to see. So Sanko still trying to snatch that last point, but has a lot of time still to make up. At the moment, the top 8 are all as they are, with the exception of LCK, who does have that 3 seconds, which will drop him behind Rory Drain right now.
So Kev, it is possible here that we might see on the second last lap, not Jack and Gak going past Caden if they're close enough. Of course, Caden doesn't have any battery to his name.
No.
And also doesn't have great straight line speed. 2 of them will have DRS and their battery to use. So let's see what's going to happen here. Not Gak is a lot closer than he was last time round. has great
Caden
straight
gets an
line
awful
speed.
line into Eau Rouge as well. He's going to have him done very early here.
It's great
All
by
the way
Jack.
around the outside. And here comes
not
Jack. He's going to have speed on both of them. That is a rocket ship. He's up to
He could
350.
take the lead here, Cav.
He's going for it.
Oh, he's going to stay behind.
Wise.
Very close between Gak and Jack. But that is
Yeah.
Caden down into P3 on those medium tyres.
Yeah, and you can see the net effect of the DRS. OP Gamer not having it. He's dropped now to 1.6 behind that pack of 3. So he needs to get a move on and make the most of those softs. But meanwhile, out front, Jack looking really solid here. I know it's only 1 lap, but if you compare that to a 50% race, you'd be talking about 2 laps of soft tyre in Belgium. It is massive. So he'll have the advantage. He's probably happy to sit here for the last lap. And I wonder, will we see any DRS shenanigans? Because they'll both know who gets the DRS down to Kemmel Straight. We'll ultimately get to the end of the Kemmel Straight first. Gary says he won't say it again, and I know exactly what he's thinking, as we refer to poor old Hawthorne sitting in the pits with another DNF. But here we go now. Kate hanging on to the back of these two, by the way, so we shouldn't discount them just yet. And those mediums will obviously still be in reasonable shape. They're just missing the raw pace that the softs have out of the box.
And Jack is very close to Gak here. Will we see a few mind games being played trying to get the DRS?
He doesn't want it, but he has to be careful because Caden's going to have a look there as well, and he may not have the option to sit
go around the outside here, Cav, of not Jack, not Jack. Oh, a little bit of contact between the Alfa Romeo and the Alpha Tauri, and it's going to be close going down the Kemmel Straight. We're on the final lap, and one of the only overtaking opportunities left for these drivers. Jack has the DRS, of course Gak does not, so he may lose 2 positions here. Jack has the lead. Will Gak be overtaken by Caden? No. So Jack has taken the lead and likely to win this race as well, but there is going to be one more overtaking opportunity into the bus stop chicane, but he has seemed to get a good gap here to knock Gak. Caden right behind him.
Yeah, so extra traction still left in those softs for Jack. He should be able to see it out from here, minus any mistakes. He has lots of battery to play with as well. Caden's battery management unfortunately cost him in this race. If he'd had even a little bit of battery to supplement himself down the Kemmel Straight there, he would have got Gak, who obviously had no DRS, but had plenty of ERS. As we see OP Gamer join this crowd, could OP get a late move done?
Never
He's
know.
looking spicy. We know he's in racy form.
He's indeed.
Yellows in sector 2. Someone's had an issue.
And I think that's Kajoko. Or no, is that... It is Kajoko. I think he's had a bit of an issue.
And is Flemo out of fuel?
Oh my god, it might be... Hey, Flemo. Flemo is out of fuel. He's out of fuel and that's got... Oh no! Isn't that just Rando's luck? K Flemo is out of fuel.
Into the final corner is Jack,
oh, no.
and he has this done, Josh, with Gak right behind him. Caden does get P3 just about with Gamer behind him. Drainer once again bringing home the points with LCK in close proximity, and that means, very important in the championship, Sanko actually steals a point off of K Flemo and Haas.
So Jack has won it.
Sanko just crossed the line before he crashed there. And Bartafor hits him on the line. This is nice to see. Thankfully there is no real expenses to this damage. Some massive incidents to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. For instance, in the last race in this is a much cleaner one. Very good standards here. But yeah, good race and a well-earned victory by not Jack.
Yeah, Rando announces he's going home. I'm not sure where he's watching the race from. That's good to hear. Thanks, Rando.
So, after a great race, Cav, why don't you bring us down to finishing order one more time?
Yeah, so after a horrid Monza, Notjack does indeed take fourth place as predicted around Belgium with a great drive. Gak in P2 and Caden, the surprise package, in P3 in the Alfa Romeo. OP Gamer comes home in fourth, Rory Drain in fifth. The points merchant does it once again. He surely will be hot property during silly season.
Yeah.
LCK in sixth. We've Joko in seventh. He shows up and he does score points. We have then Sanko in P8 getting himself what could turn out to be an important point in the final sprint points position. Bartafor just misses out, unfortunately, for Rando's Barry's Haas. In ninth, we have Lukey Dookie 10th, and then K Flemo, as we saw, retired just one lap from the end after he ran out of juice Not for the first time, heartbreakingly, this week.
Cav, did I predict that exactly correct?
No, you did not.
I think it.
Pretty
Who
sure
did I
you
say?
said Lukey Dookie P1, Barta4 P2, and I think you had Cockpit Griffey P3.
I got it
Actually,
exactly
you had
correct.
Hawthorne P1, if I'm not mistaken.
I am amazing, and I can believe it.
Wow.
That's great.
Wow, indeed.
How great am I?
Unbelievable, Josh. So there we have it. What a couple of races they were. And yeah, an interesting format. Certainly threw up some surprises, but I think the second race around Belgium was a little bit more like we would have expected, and certainly a lot cleaner, thankfully.
Indeed, yeah, it was a much better race in terms of racing standards. Not a ton of incidents, people crashing into each other, which is always good to see. And in terms of interviews, Kev, what are we thinking?
Take your pick. We can get in anyone you like.
Ooh, okay. So who?
Take your pick.
Right. So who do we have? Was it Caden?
Caden, Gak, and Jack are the three podium sitters. We of course have then the GOAT. We could get the GOAT in to see how he feels about his great return. We could have Kajoko in, who's also a council member, or we could even get in Big Dave to see just how does he spin that car so much.
Well, I definitely think we'll have Caden in. He was on the podium 2 times out of the 2 today. I think it'd be interesting to have Redrain in his first race. His first race, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Yeah.
First 2 races, technically.
Yeah, first weekend, we'll call it. Let's see how confident he is getting a seat. I don't know, Kev, what do you... I picked 2. You now have to pick 1 or 2. I don't know. Depends on how... we have ended it quite early, so we can take a few in.
Yeah, let's go for Big Dave. Try to get Big Dave in here and see if he has anything to say for himself, the miserable sod.
And will we get a team principal in as well, Kev? What do you think?
I should go for it. Should invite anyone you want, Josh.
Okay, well that's dangerous, but anyway, here we go. Let's see who we have. Just who we got? Right, well, we will be back momentarily, folks. Give us a second. It's time! Seems to be there, Kev.
Here we
I don't think anybody else
Rando's take on the disaster class, feel free.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Chuck an invite there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run to the bathroom and I'll be back.
There's you.
change things forever. Some men just want to watch the world burn. This town deserves a better class of criminal. And I'm gonna give it to him.
It's time to burn.
Quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast. We jumped up and
So step it out. So step it out. So step it out. Wear that wedding band. So step it out. my fine daughter, show your legs to pick up the rhythm. In the village of Kilgore, there's a maiden young and fair. Her eyes shine like diamonds, she has long and golden hair. A horseman he comes riding up to the farthest gates. On a pure white stallion, and he comes at the strike of 8. So step it out, Mary, my fine daughter, step it out, Mary.
So we only have one.
Step it out, Mary, my fine daughter, show your legs to pick up the rhythm.
And I wasn't someone who had a particularly great day, but we'll see what he thinks anyway. Dave, how are you getting on?
Not too good.
No, I can only imagine. So take us through your first race anyway. Obviously you had to impress Lucky Nutshot today with your 2 races, which didn't turn out too good. What happened in that first race?
Well, I didn't impress him at all, you know, so that was a bummer. No, like around Monza, I thought I had alright pace. Like, I was comfortable around it, but like, my qualifying was crap, so I was starting from the back, and then, you know, going into turn 1, and there was just cars parked everywhere.
Yeah.
And for me, thinking they would move a little, I just didn't brake as much as I should have, where like they were literally stopped and ended up breaking my wing. So, you know, in a sprint race with very little laps, you're right already. So you're doing some very little laps, like you can't have a mistake, like. So
Yeah.
that was the mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we caught that on the stream as well. So not a great first race, and then not a great second race either. So what happened in Belgium?
I just don't like Belgium. It was an absolute. Yeah, I don't know. I have no words for it. It was horrendous.
Right.
I thought my setup was alright. Like I had good straight line speed and stuff, and then I think I was like catching the guys where I could have maybe got a point, and then misjudged my pit window. I was like, okay, I could overcut these, and that didn't work at all.
Right.
So trying to catch up with them at the end, I just ended up bidding up. Usual.
Yeah. So not out of the ordinary.
The
So
good news is, Dave, you finished 12th twice, so there's consistency there, if nothing else.
There's consistency, yes, and that's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what the stories will say.
Well, hopefully do a wee bit better tomorrow night and next week. So we'll see. I'll practice a wee bit better.
yeah. Well, speaking of next week, we are in our silly season now officially. So you're gonna have to impress Dave. So you're nobody's a full-time driver at any team, including yourself at
So
Aston Martin.
is there a race next week?
No race
No.
next week. We'll have another draft. So it's up to yourself to try and, I don't know, impress Lucky Nutshot somehow. Don't know if that's a.
So basically,
a
what
revenue
happened was
transaction.
Lucky Nutshot got me in for a week and went, I have this asshole driving for me. Hopefully someone else comes along, that kind of shit. Yeah.
That's exactly what he did. Yeah. So,
Well, if he boosts me, hopefully Rondo sees it in his heart. And he'll give me a seat in Haas.
That is scraping the bottom of the barrel, hoping
Yeah.
for a seat at Haas, but I hear you, Dave, don't worry.
Well,
I
you
hear
know what I mean. We like a wee seat, you know. I know we can do better, but sure. Shit happens.
That's it, mate.
indeed. So, you're the only one nice enough to join us, Dave. So we're going to leave it at that. Thanks for everybody else who joined. Arseholes. Anyway, that's it for this week, and we will be getting into our silly season now officially. So no drivers signed to any team now, and it's going to be interesting who gets sacked and who gets hired, and if poor old Dave here can get himself a seat full time for the second half of this season, it's definitely going to be interesting, and we'll make sure to, well, hopefully Corey will wake up and put something into the news report about the silly season. But anyway, thanks very much again for watching. We'll be back soon for our second driver draft of the silly season. And once again, this has been myself.